Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Kolodin. I'm the Chief Infrastructure Officer for Governor Whitmer and Director of the Michigan Infrastructure Office. I'm delighted to have you all join us here at I-375, where we're celebrating the replacement of this 1-mile highway with a street-level boulevard that will knit our communities back together. Michigan has long been the birthplace of innovation, from fiber optics to baby food to the automotive assembly line. And every person, community, and business here in Michigan has an opportunity to make it in Michigan. That's why Governor Whitmer recently unveiled her strategy to make it in Michigan, a comprehensive plan to make Michigan a state full of attractive investments, redeveloping blighted housing, and bringing new life to our downtowns. This involves 3 parts: bringing our supply chains home, reinvesting in our communities, and investing in people and education so that we can drive entrepreneurship and growth across the state. I-375 represents a combination of all of those 3 elements. We're going to replace this mile-long gash that has divided our city with a boulevard that'll clear space for small businesses to grow right here in the heart of Detroit. The land that is opened up could be parks, could be centers for entrepreneurship. It really could be anything that this community needs, and it will be, because we've got a process that involves a local advisory committee that will inform what this project becomes and make sure it reflects our community and our values. We've got schools, we've got educational institutions, all the things that we need to make it here in Michigan, right here in this part of Detroit. So I'm delighted that we've got the Small Business Administrator Guzman, Mayor Mitch Landrieu here representing the White House, Mayor Duggan, and Terrelyn Buckles, who founded an incredibly innovative engineering firm, Onyx Enterprises, who I have the pleasure of introducing today. So I'll turn it over to Terrelyn to tell us her story, which I think is emblematic of the Detroit story and the possibilities embodied in this project. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, Zach. So good afternoon. I'm Terrelyn Buckles, and it is an honor to be given a platform to speak today. It is rare, and I don't take this opportunity lightly, especially in this historic business and entertainment district of Paradise Valley, where major freeways like the I-375 was constructed and displaced Black businesses and the Jazz Corridor. I'm a native Detroiter, a East Sider. I'm a Detroit Public Schools graduate from Murray Wright High School. I graduated from the University of Michigan with a Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineer with a concentration in Structural Engineering. I serve on many boards. I founded many organizations, and I'm an advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion for infrastructure projects. I have worked in the industry for 35 years. I have 3 companies: Onyx Enterprise, AE Collaborative, and Green Energy Innovations. Onyx is an award-winning civil engineering firm, certified and headquartered here in Detroit for 16 years. I am the president and CEO. AE Collaborative is an architecture engineering firm, my second firm, and I am partnered with Karen Burton on that firm. My third firm is Green Energy Innovations, and we have electric vehicle charging stations and solar energy. I partner with my sister, Yawanda Buckles, in that firm. My focus today is with Onyx Enterprise because of the major infrastructure projects funded by the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act. Onyx projects are in 2 sectors of the infrastructure industry: water resources, that's the water and sewer, transportation, the roads, bridges, and the airport projects, as well as buildings with the Detroit Public Schools Community District. The water resource projects that I have are with the Detroit Water and Sewer Department, which I see represented today. The projects that I have there, we're the owner's representative of 10 contracts with the Water Department. That's the lead service line replacement, the sinkhole projects, fire hydrant flow testing, water main and sanitary sewer repairs and replacement. And with the transportation projects, I have several projects with MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation. The Q line, the I-94 modernization project, I-69, I-75, and the 8-mile reconstruction project, all of which we are construction inspection engineers. And with the airport, Onyx has 3 major contracts. The Dingle Tunnel project, which is starting up in July, the Taxiway Y reconstruction, and the on-call engineering services. And for our great city of the city of Detroit, the Detroit Public Works, we're working and we finished the Joe Louis Greenway, speed humps projects, HMA paving, we did sidewalks, and we did streetscapes all over the city of Detroit with Rosa Parks streetscapes, Warren, McNichols, Livernois. We are very thankful to work on these projects, improving our infrastructure and impacting our community. We provide jobs for Detroit residents and the surrounding communities, and we recruit talent from all over the country, including historically Black universities. It is my prayer that the IIJA funds that are deployed in Michigan and the Justice 40 initiative, that it benefits all disadvantaged communities like Detroit, improving our roads, our bridges, water and sewer systems to prevent flooding and provide more opportunities for small businesses. And thank you. I'd like to bring up our mayor, Mayor Duggan.
All right, well, we have to have a big hand for Terrell and Buckholz. I got tired just listening to all the projects that you're doing, but she reflects the kind of talent we have in the city that's supported by city government. It's been supported recently by the state and federal government and by the Small Business Administration and Administrator Guzman. Terrell is a reflection of what happens when you help give good people a good start to their business. And it's great to be with my friend Mitch Landrieu. We were mayors together before he moved on to bigger and better things, and now he's responsible for infrastructure in America. And today we're standing next to 375, and in April, the city of Detroit took over the maintenance of the sides of the freeways with the state's cooperation. I can't tell you how happy I was to get here and see that the grass has been freshly cut. Or I would have heard about it from Zach and the governor. But we have this commitment. And what's happened with the president and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act is instead of scrambling to fix potholes and lead pipes that should have been done a long time ago, for the first time we're getting ahead of the curve. We're replacing this ditch with a street-level road that will create all kinds of development opportunity for Detroiters. We also have $25 million in funding to create safe intersections. We have the highest rate of pedestrian deaths in the country here, but with the federal assistance, we're taking those intersections that have the biggest problem and putting in new crossing areas, new lights, new signage, and on Michigan Avenue, there's another $25 million that went into building the first automated vehicle corridor, which is being built down Michigan and ultimately out to Ann Arbor in front of the train station where Ford's designing the autonomous and electric vehicles of the future. These are things 5 years ago Detroit wouldn't have dreamed of. We were just trying to get by. Now we have a chance to lay out the infrastructure that the people of the city need for the next generation. We're so appreciative of the president and his courage, to our congressional delegation, and to Mitch Landrieu, who's making sure it's being carried out so competently. And with that, I want to introduce our Congressman, Shri Tanadar.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Duggan, the governor's office, the partnership that we have with the mayor's office and the governor's office to work on infrastructure. There is an unprecedented amount of work has been done, and it's been planned. I thank my congressional colleagues and President Biden for this historic $1.3 trillion infrastructure bill. We've been talking about fixing America's aging infrastructure for decades. But for the first time, under President Biden's leadership and with the help of Congress, we're actually able to fund these projects. Now, we know about the damage the Black Bottoms and Paradise Valley, African American owned businesses suffered substantially. The highway project destroyed, perhaps in today's dollars, billions of dollars of net worth of Black families, Black entrepreneurs. And that wrong was never done right. And I am so excited to replace this 1 mile of highway stretch and beginning to restore the neighborhoods where Black-owned businesses will establish again, will flourish again, and we will create opportunities for Black families, Black-owned businesses to rebuild the net worth. Now, this $100 million highway replacement project will not do right all of the wrongs that happened. But it is certainly a beginning, and I am so thankful to the White House. I'm so thankful to the Congress for this beginning. Now, people ask me, Shri, as a congressman for this district, what's your job? And I say my job is to improve the quality of life for every resident in my district. And people ask me, how are you going to do that? And I say the number one job I have is to bring federal dollars to my district. And that's what I'm focusing on. I have just requested $70 million for various infrastructure projects to remove lead pipelines in the district, to help with the sewer, the aging sewer and water infrastructure. And me and my office will continue to work with the Biden administration. I'm so happy to hear about Carolyn and her business and to see a Black woman-owned business that is so successful. She's an engineer from University of Michigan, and her business has created and is an example of what small business can be. As you know, I am a small serial entrepreneur, a small business owner myself. So I understand the struggles small businesses have in terms of making the payroll every 2 weeks, struggling with, the small businesses have unique issues, unique problems that I have known firsthand. And that's why I am so proud to welcome the Small Business Administrator, Ms. Guzman, here to my district, to our district here. I am so proud to represent Detroit. I'm so proud to represent the 20 municipalities in my congressional district. And one thing I can tell you is that I will continue to work with the administrators, the various secretaries, the White House, President Biden, in bringing dollars home to partner with Mayor Duggan in making our city more beautiful, making our city more attractive for people to come and live in our city of Detroit. I want to work with the governor in terms of fixing our infrastructure. So I want to be a partner and continue to make the lives of our residents better. With that, I am delighted to introduce the next speaker, someone that I have a lot of respect for, Mitch Landrieu, a special advisor to President Joe Biden. Mitch looks after the infrastructure projects and the funding, and he's a key person, he's an important person, and he also understands issues just like Mayor Duggan does in terms of the needs of large cities, the needs of large cities in terms of working on aging infrastructure. He has been a mayor for a long time, he has been a lieutenant governor, and has been an elected official, state rep, and now in the White House. So please give me a big hand to Mitch Landrieu and welcome him to our district and our great city.
Thank you. Congressman, thank you so much. It's great to be here in the Black Bottom neighborhood of one of the great cities of America, a city that's got great bones, has a great past, has a great present, Mayor Duggan, because of the incredible work that you have done, and no doubt has an extraordinary future ahead of it. Also want to thank Governor Whitmer. Thank you so much, our infrastructure coordinator. And Carolyn, it's great to be with you to see the receipts, really, the proof that the President's vision for America is working. The President's vision for the country is pretty simple. He wants to help restore the soul of the nation. He wants to use his policy and his power to unite the country, and he wants to rebuild the backbone of America. And we're checking off all three of those today and bringing the receipts. The President's Invest in America agenda is pretty simple. Is that if we invest in America physically, and we invest in the people of America, and we try to do things together, we can do big things that not only correct historical wrongs, but to prepare ourselves for a future where everybody has the benefit of building generational wealth and the benefits of building a community that makes sense. And that is why, because of my experience as a mayor, as a lieutenant governor, as a state legislator, I like having my feet on the ground, on the corner of Chrysler and Monroe, in a community where actually people live and they work. And to be standing here in a space that bears witness to the mistakes that we've made in our country. This is not a unique situation. All across America, in my home city of New Orleans, in Atlanta, all across the country, we have infrastructure projects that were laid down without much thought to the people that lived in these communities, historic communities, many of which were occupied by people of color in the African American community, that actually split them right down the middle and created alienation. And when you do that, you create disincentive, you lose opportunity, you don't build generational wealth, you actually suppress. This infrastructure bill, in partnership with the Inflation Reduction Act and the CHIPS Act, is a $1.6 trillion investment in the people of America. And people say, well, is it really hitting the ground? $220 billion out of the door. We have 32,000 projects going on in 4,500 communities in all 50 states and all territories. And yes, actually right here in Michigan and in the city of Detroit. There are 319 projects that have been funded. Billions of dollars have been hitting the ground to invest in roads and bridges and airports and ports and waterways, clean air and safe water, Congressman, to actually make sure that we don't have lead in the pipes so that our young kids don't get damaged from drinking water that's not pure, and building a clean energy economy, a lot of which actually is going to happen in this very city, Mayor, as we get ready for the clean energy future. And today, specifically, $105 million for this very project to help do two things that the President said he wanted to do, was to unite the country by reuniting this community that had been dissected, and to build generational wealth by giving individuals, entrepreneurs, business leaders like Tara Lynn the resources she needs to go from having 2 employees to 10 to hopefully, Tara Lynn, the next time I see you, you growing by leaps and bounds, because we need you. We need you to help rebuild this country in the vision that the President had, where we're all in this together. Because as the President said, we have never had a chance in this country to build anything that we've been able to do without working together. On the federal level, the President showed up. On the state level, Governor Whitmer's team is here. On the congressional level, Congressman, thank you for that. And then on the city level, Mayor Duggan. And none of this is possible, of course, without growing small businesses. This, at the end of the day, it's about making it easier to get across the street. It's about kids being able to ride their bikes. It's about being able to make safe. It's about creating the environment for people to grow businesses, but somebody's got to help make that happen. And the person that I'm about to introduce, Isabel Guzman, is the administrator that the president has looked to help make this happen across the country. So I'm standing next to the best mayor in America, according to the president, until I was mayor of New Orleans, but I'll give that to you, Mayor Duggan. One of the president's favorite mayors in the country. You got a favorite governor, but you also have a major partner in Washington, D.C., pushing for small businesses to build the kind of generational wealth that we need to help make this project, $105 million, not just to reconstruct the street, but to make sure that all the small businesses that benefit from this are folks that have been left behind before, because the president says we can't go forward if we don't go forward together. So, Administrator Guzman, if you will take the mic and talk to us about the great work that you're doing on behalf of the president, I would certainly appreciate it. Help me welcome Administrator Guzman.
Thank you. Thank you. Great job. Thank you so much. Well, it's great to be here in Detroit. The innovation happening here, the manufacturing, the Made in America that's happening here is exciting, and small businesses are lifting that up and a part of it. So, Mayor Duggan, it's a pleasure to be here in your city. Congressman Thanadar, in your district. You know, the congressman serves on the House Small Business Committee and really cares about these issues and making sure SBA is brought to the table to deliver. So it's an incredible opportunity to be here along with the state director. It's wonderful to see these infrastructure projects take action. And to my wonderful, Michigan Small Business of the Year in 2022, Tara Lynn, you exemplify what the SBA is all about. And such an honor to have you here. And of course, thanks to the hard work of the senior advisor to the president here, Mitch Landrieu, Mayor Landrieu, we've been able to propel projects that lift up small businesses like Tara Lynn. We wanted to come here and lift up the I-375 corridor to really lean into what small businesses can benefit from in this space. The SBA puts capital into hands of small businesses to start up, to grow their businesses so that they can get those contracts, create those jobs, and be a part of building the future of this city. But it's also about what these neighborhoods will become again. Right now, you don't see pedestrians walking along, but as the director outlined, there's incredible economic development opportunity so that we can bring a resurgence to Main Street and see our Black-owned businesses, our diverse businesses start up at high rates, as they have been doing. During the president's tenure, we've seen a small business boom in this country, with over 12 million new business applications filed across the nation. And it's incredible businesses. Over 288,000 of those were here in the state of Michigan, really demonstrating the hope that communities have in entrepreneurship being a pathway to building wealth for their families, intergenerational wealth for their communities to be able to thrive. And so this infrastructure project represents those hopes and those opportunities. So the president's commitment really has been about delivering an economy that works for everyone, and we need to rebuild neighborhoods, rebuild entrepreneurship and small business so that our communities can thrive. The SBA has been about making sure that that dream can be delivered, and we have boots on the ground. So Lakita Henderson here in Detroit, as well as my regional administrator, Jerry Aglape, are working every day and will continue to work to make sure that this corridor project continues to deliver results for our small businesses. The president's quite aware of the fact that small businesses create 2/3 of net new jobs. They deliver half of the private workforce jobs that we see in this country, and they represent opportunity as a result. They also are the ones innovating to create the products and services that we all depend on, that our country and our globe needs. And so it's an honor to be here to just really lift up our small business stories, but also recommit to the city and to the district, that the SBA's loans, the SBA's connection to knowledge of how to grow your business, and the contracting opportunities available from the federal government, as well as the state and local governments, are here for small businesses, and we're going to help you try to get them. So with that, I just want to thank everybody who joined joined us today to ensure that we're lifting up all of our small businesses, including the SBA's Council on Underserved Communities, many of whose members are here with us today, to really hone in on ensuring that women and people of color, LGBTQ communities, and our diverse populations across the country who are starting businesses at the highest rates and are a big part of that 12 million surge continue to get the resources they need to survive and thrive. So thank you very much for coming. Any questions, I think we're going to take? Thank you.
Sunday, the implosion of the incinerator.
Right.
It's almost over the end of an era of pollution. What steps are taking the businesses and, more importantly, residents to make sure that there's no fallout and toxic?
Yeah. Well, it's an exciting day for us. For decades, the people in that neighborhood have complained about the odors that came from that incinerator, and it was about 2 years of really vigorous enforcement where we wrote them repeated tickets, where the operators decided that it was too expensive to comply with the law and they shut it down. We took the incinerator back, we've disassembled it, and in fact, we are making money in the demolition because we're actually selling the steel and recycling it. It's more than paying for it. The last thing that is left is a concrete tower which will be imploded toward the freeway early in the morning on Sunday. And so we've had an extensive outreach to tell individuals, just make sure you got your windows closed. There'll be a lot of hoses. I don't believe the dust will go far. And in fact, right now with what's happening with the Canadian wildfires, we should have our windows closed. You can tell it's already affecting on my voice. We should have that closed. We should have them closed anyway. But we're taking every precaution, and I think it will be a day of celebration in the city when that incinerator is gone from the skyline forever.
All right, you guys, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.